Okay. Hello, everyone. I am here with my dear friend, Brandon Goodman. And I just want to explain basically how this has come around. So basically, obviously, in the last few weeks in the States, since the horrendous killing of George Floyd, there has been a huge push and uprising for Black Lives Matter. And it is the most paramount important thing in America at the moment, and should have been for the last 400 years. But it's not changing. And I think, like many people, I want it to change, but I've realized that sitting here wanting something to change isn't doing anything. I started watching Brandon's videos on his Instagram. His first one he posted was just to his friends, basically, to challenge his white friends about relearning the the basically inherent racism that we all have as white people in the modern Western world, especially. And it really resonated with me, and it resonated with lots and lots of people because, you know, you've had such an amazing kind of response to it that you've done a series of these videos now. And I was thinking, I want to do something. And I thought, well, why don't I ask my friend Brandon to do his videos and put them on to my Instagram TV, which I've never used before. And I want to use it for a good purpose, and this is the best possible purpose. So everyone, I just want to welcome Brandon Goodman. Hello, Brandon.
Hello, hi. I'm so excited, and thank you for this, because I do think this is not to hype you up, but I do think this is a representation of good allyship. You know, like really just wanting to. And Tom and I were talking about, you know, wanting to expose people to more experiences of Black people through our words. And so the idea is that, you know, I'm going to have conversations with other Black people just about our experiences, you know, some great, some not so great, and just allow you to kind of be a fly on the wall in our conversations about being Black in America. So I'm really excited about those conversations. I also just feel, one, you know, for your followers to be able to see it and kind of get that exposure, but also for me, it's healing to be able to talk to other people who have been experiencing what I've been experiencing, and to be able to articulate it with each other and find the words with each other. So I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Good man. Good man.
Yeah. Good man.
Literally good man.
Literally, man.
Healing, that's a good word. I think healing is like, the healing process is what, you know, I really want to kind of help people, sort of push people to contribute towards this healing process, because it's not just going to happen.
No, it's not.
You know,
not.
and
It takes work.
Also, you know, there's been, obviously, it's been in the news a lot for the last few weeks, but what always happens in the news is that other things then happen, and the news starts to drift, and people's focus starts to drift, and suddenly it's got at the forefront of everyone's attention. And I think, you know, what's happened this time is partly because of COVID, thankfully, in this case.
Yeah.
People have been at home, they've not been stimulated by their usual everyday activities and work and stuff, and they've had time to sit and absorb and think. And I think that's why it's, for some reason, this time, thankfully, it's got the traction that I think is going to create some movement, but it's only going to happen if we keep talking.
Yeah, I mean, it's really, and forgive the airplane happening, it's really not allow people to escape, you know? It's really force people to see this and sit with it and wrestle with, wait, if I consider myself a good person, how am I letting this thing continue to happen? And how have we let it happen for this long? To the people, especially to the people that we love and we're in conversations with and we interact with. And as you just said, it's about continuing the conversation as well, right? Like it's very easy for this to become a moment in social media. And it's very easy to, as the social media posts start to fade, depending on who you're following, for you to forget that this thing is happening, which in and of itself is a privilege. And so what I'm excited about with this weekly thing that we're about to embark on with my conversations with other Black folks are to continue the conversation past the news cycle, to continue to keep the foot on the gas of what this is and how we can burn it down and rebuild it, and how we can have effective conversations that will ultimately heal this thing that has been broken for centuries. So I'm really, really looking forward to that.
Good, good.
Yeah.
No, it's gonna be interesting. And actually, picking up on what you were just saying there, I think, you know, I definitely fall into the category of people that I sort of, when I grew up, I was taught to sort of live by example, I suppose. I grew up in the church. I've had this conversation before.
Yeah,
and
me too. Yeah.
I kind of, you know, that I just figured, or I learned that being good and kind to people is the best that I can do. You know, but actually, I don't believe that anymore. I think that goodness and kindness is great. And I am, you know, of course, promoting that across the board to everybody. But this requires action. And it requires, and when I say action, I don't mean like we all need to go into the street and you know, hold up placards and stuff. That's one part of action.
That's one part of it, yes.
That's one part of it. And, you know, of course, people should go and do that. If they want to go and do that and feel safe doing that in the current climate, they should go and do that. You know, people are donating to Black Lives Matter, which is very, very important as well, and to other charities that are associated with this movement. But I think, you know, it starts, the most basic form of it starts with this, is talking to our friends. And this has happened. I've had, and I hate uncomfortableness. I hate people feeling uncomfortable. And I'm always a bit of a diplomat in situations. But since this has happened, I've found myself having and provoking conversations with people that I would normally do. Not to get a reaction out of them, but just to have the conversation. So you're having a dialogue about it. And you never know, having a dialogue about something, it might not happen in the moment, but someone will go away and think about something.
It's planting the seed, you know. And what you said about goodness and kindness, right? That to me is the foundation of your house, but you still have to build the house. And the house is action, right? And as you said, some people will protest, some people will donate, some people will you know, sign petitions, and there are a lot of other things that also need to happen to build the house. Goodness and kindness is just the foundation, but you can't live in that. There are more things that you have to do, and the conversations are important. And I think what's exciting about what, you know, I'm going to do on your platform is, I think that white people have to be having conversations with each other, right, about what's going on and how to build a house that makes sense. And obviously with the input of Black people and with us alongside you. But then there's this emotional factor where, you know, white people have to have conversations about what has happened and where they fit in with that with each other, and not unload that on to their Black friends. And your Black friends, when they're ready to have conversations with you about your relationship, then they will do that. And then for us as Black people, it's so important for us to have our conversations, you know, just so that we can continue to pour into each other and motivate each other and give each other the armor that we need to continue moving forward in this movement. And that's the same thing that I'm hoping white people will do as well, to move forward in this movement. And then there are those moments where we bridge. Right now, this is a bridge, right? Like right now, what we're doing here is a bridge moment where both of us are in an emotionally sound place where we can have this conversation and figure out how to push forward. And then there are those other conversations as well, which we won't have together, you know, which like, you're like, I'm going to use my privilege and my power to talk to my friends who are white or who are not Black and plant these seeds and push the dialogue. And I'm going to have the conversations with my friends and with my people about, you know, just about how are we getting through this? How are we navigating this? And hopefully all of those conversations and all of those actions will build a new house that we can all live in, that is equal and equitable and just, and also has kindness.
You always do this to me every time.
Look at those goosebumps.
Right up on end again. Oh, I love you, mate.
I love you too. Thank you. So are you.
Good man, because it seems cheesy every time I say good man. Is there anything else you want to ask me before we sort of before I leave the airwaves to you?
No, I mean, I think we've had the conversations, and I'm looking forward to continue the conversations. And I'm looking forward to doing this. And
Yeah.
I'm just I hope that it'll be an example to more people about, you know, more people who are in your position as well, about how to continue to elevate and amplify Black voices and share Black stories. But then also for anyone, you know, who is just living in their local community, you know, how do you do the same thing? How do you do this in your workplace? How do you do this at your grocery store? How do you do this, you know, with the businesses that you invest in? How can you continue to elevate and amplify and share Black stories, so that we can really heal, so that we can ultimately heal.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We're gonna do it. That's what we want. We're gonna do it.
Oh mate, all right. Well,
All
listen, I'm so excited about this. I'm going to encourage as well my followers to, if you have anyone that you would like B to talk to, or any ideas of people, please don't be shy. We'll take some ideas. I can't guarantee that we'll get people,
Yes.
but we'll have a go. And yeah, it's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I'm really,
it's gonna be a time. There'll be good times. It's gonna be a time.
We're doing something. We're doing something.
Yeah, we're doing something, and and honestly, the last thing I could say is do something.
Yes.
You may not know exactly what to do or how to do it, but you do something. That's the most important thing you can do.
Nothing.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. All right. Well, I love you, man.
I'll speak to you soon. I love you too. Take care.
All right.